Hi. Oh, good. Okay, I just wanted to make sure the live stream is up. Um, Hello. This is so bizarre not being able to talk to you in person, but for those watching, thank you so much for joining us today and welcome to a two-part concert called Nothing Else Left to Read. This project is made possible with generous support from the University of Toronto COVID-19 Engagement Grant and is named Nothing Else Left to Read because of a sort of reimagining and deconstructing of the written word, understanding the ways text, and perhaps more exclusively music notation, has stapled a tradition that fights back at us even as we try to break through the barriers it erects. The past couple of months has been all about reimagining and reconstructing. An important part of this reconstruction, something evident in some of the humanities fields like music, is beginning to privilege interpretation and liveness just as much as we privilege text. And so me and my two other amazing teammates on this project, Julie Zhu and Joyce To, thought and agreed that a two-part series about graphic scores is the pathway into exploring this. So we also wanted to address liveness as something that has gone missing in the online digital concert model. So this has also involved us troubleshooting and spending hours on a couple of different softwares to reduce latency between the performers in pursuit of something closer to live. And our second concert, which will happen next month, and there'll be more info on that to come, will reimagine graphic scores as interactive with the audience as sort of a triadic relationship between score, performer, and audience. We hope that this will begin to introduce aspects of liveness, of the interactivity so crucial to liveness, into the online concert. But anyway, I want to go ahead and introduce the three fabulous performers that will be playing tonight. Darian Thomas on violin from New York is a composer, instrumentalist, and interdisciplinary artist from San Antonio, Texas, and currently based in Brooklyn. And he is interested in combining genres and mediums into a singular vocabulary that can express ideas about intersectionality of medium and identity. Necessarily, he is interested in redacting all barriers to entry that have existed at the gates of any genre. This vocabulary of multiplicity will be intersectional and therefore all-inclusive. Phoebe Bognár is a Sydney-based flutist, composer, curator, and improviser. Her approach to music is sown with vibrancy and fluidity and explores a range of genres, repertoire, and style. Phoebe has been given numerous performances across the globe, sharing music with audiences in Sydney, London, Berlin, Oslo, Brisbane, Finland, and the USA. She delights in genre-bending collaborations, art forms, and disciplines that bring the world we live in into discourse. Phoebe explores new and exciting ways of creative expression which intertwine vocal and flute techniques, objects, technology, and relationships with imagined and physical environments. And last but not least, Katherine Whatley is a Koto musician and PhD student in Japanese literature at Stanford University, working on gender and music and pre-modern literature. Her musical interests include free jazz and improvised music in the context of non-Western and folk music, Japanese jazz, field recordings, noise music, and sound arts. We are so excited to have Darian, Phoebe, and Kat today. Tonight we're going to be doing 5 beautiful and incredibly diverse scores by William Smith, Judy Jackson, Mark Applebaum, Nicole Mitchell, and Raven Chacon. And there'll be a short intermission between Mark Applebaum's score Medium and Nicole Mitchell's Maroon from her Inescapable Spiral. And during that intermission or throughout the concert, we hope that you'll take time in joining us in supporting 2 different organizations that we collectively decided on. Black Rainbow in Australia is a national advocacy program, platform and touch point for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Australians that are lesbian, gay, bisexual, queer, transgender, and intersex. And we also are asking you to consider supporting the Native Women's Resource Centre of Toronto, which provides a safe and welcoming environment for all Aboriginal women and their children in the Greater Toronto Area. Yeah, and what else there's there? Before each piece, we'll pause for around 30 to 45 seconds to allow some time for you to read the composer bio, and it'll also give us actually a little bit of time for the musicians to reset. So all that said, thank you so much, and we hope you enjoy this concert tonight. Thank you.
Bye.
Hello. So now we're going to take a very short break. If you wanted to get a drink, it'll be 5 minutes. And this would be a perfect time also if you wanted to join us in supporting Black Rainbow and the Native Women's Resource Center of Toronto. Sorry. And actually, we thought that this would be such a great time since it's not often that we're in the presence of a Koto. If Kat, would you want to maybe talk about your instrument a little bit?
Sure, of course. Can everyone hear me okay? So this is a Koto. It is an instrument, a stringed instrument. This version, sorry for the, I can't quite see. This version has 13 strings. But there are versions of it that have everywhere from 7, I think, to 6 to 25 strings. And it is an instrument that there are cousins of it played everywhere from Turkey to Indonesia. The Koto itself is from Japan, and it's been played in Japan probably since about the 6th century. And though it didn't get this shape until the Edo period, so about the 17th or 18th century. And it is made out of paulownia wood, which is considered to be a holy wood, a very soft wood. And this instrument itself, the wood is about 20 years old. It was aged. It grew for 20 years, and then it was aged in a storehouse. And I'm about 25. It's about 25, so I feel like we're siblings. And it's traditional in Japan to name objects, especially your instruments. And the Koto, the parts of the Koto are supposed to represent a dragon. So the part at the front is the mouth, the part at the back is the tail. So I call her Ryuko, which means dragon girl. So perfect. A lot of the way that I was playing was not at all traditional. So if you look up Koto music on YouTube, you can take a look of some more traditional ways of playing, but I do a lot of extended technique, like using chopsticks or violin bow, hitting the wrong side. But I like to play with the different possibilities, the more percussion possibilities, as well as the more melodic possibilities of the Koto. And because it's an open tuning system, that means you can move these bridges to any possible note, basically. That means that I can do things like micro tuning. So that means have something that is, in fact, I need to tune. So I'll tune while I'm talking. Have some notes that are not just, for example, D, C, or D flat, but to have a note somewhere in the middle of those notes. So that was what I did on the last piece. And now I have to retune. My Koto teacher always used to say, oh, to be a koto player is to tune all the time, which is true. It's a very old instrument, so it goes out of tune all the time. And what I'm holding here these are called plectra. They're like attached, kind of like a guitar pick, but attached to your finger. And these are made out of ivory with deer skin around it. And I know it's not very eco-conscious, but at least these are all plastic now. All the parts also used to be ivory before in Japan in the past. I wish there was a way for the audience to ask questions, because normally people ask all kinds of really great questions about the koto. I don't know if the musicians have questions.
When did you start playing koto? I'm not sure if you said.
I started about 5 years ago, I think, but I played violin before.
I just posted in the thing.
Oh, did you post? Okay. So I've been playing for about 5 years, but before that I played violin for 10 years, so I think I like stringed instruments. So I'm very, very excited to be able to play with Darian, actually. If I had been that cool, I might have stuck with violin.
I just broke a lot of rules.
Isn't that why we're all here?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Kath. Hey,
Yeah.
Kat. And sorry about this because I'm listening to the live stream, which is 10 seconds delayed. So if it sees like a bizarre interjection, I'm sorry about that. But
Not at all.
we have a couple questions. One is, are there keys in koto music? And another is the koto much different from the, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's spelled Guzheng.
Guzheng.
Maybe
Oh.
Guzheng? Yeah, I don't know how to
So,
pronounce that exactly.
I think I can go onto the YouTube live stream so I can see the questions. But to answer the questions, and there's like a 10-second delay, so sorry about that, audience members. The first question, there are like traditional scales, but there's not really key because it's an open tuning system. So theoretically, you can play almost any possible combination of notes and almost any possible scale. It is a little bit based on the tightness of the strings, what is or isn't possible, but basically anything possible, which is actually really useful for doing some kind of a like cross-genre improvisation, cross-genre performance. So for example, I've like played with Indian classical instruments, and then I can just tune my koto to fit a rag, so a classical Indian scale. So that's really exciting. And as for the second question, which is the capital different from the Guzheng? No, it's basically the same. So the koto is koto probably came to Japan via Korea and China. So the Guzheng is like another version of the same. It's like a sibling. I think now they mostly use metal strings. This isn't always the case, but in general, Japanese music, traditional Japanese music has been less likely to change over time than Korean and Chinese. So there's like more, things have changed more with the instruments in China and Korea, but there are also the gaegum is the Korean version of this instrument, and they're all relatively similar. Thank you for the great questions. I'm just going to quickly tune, and then maybe we're ready for the next piece. sorry to keep everyone waiting.
Life directional. Our first desires seems to be comfortable, but soon after we wish for risk. Dreams suffering challenges speed and recognizable interaction is satisfying.
Thank you all so much. Oh, Kat, Phoebe, Darian. That was so amazing. And, oh, sorry, no one could see me, I guess. Hold on. Oh, no, I don't want that. Thank you, Kat, Phoebe, Darian. That was so amazing. And thank everyone watching this for tuning in to the very first of this two-part series.
Thank you so much
I
for
think
coming.
it was really amazing and super successful and really awesome. And it was great to have everyone here. And if you haven't considered a donation to the Native Women's Resource Center of Toronto or Black Rainbow in Australia, we ask you that would be like really great if you could join us in supporting them. But thank you all, and thank you again so much to Julie Zhu, who is behind those slides right now, and Joyce Toe, who is making sure that the live stream worked out well. This would not be possible without them, obviously.
And Tyler.
And yes, we
Tyler,
hope to see you next
so
month.
much,
More info to
Tyler.
come. But thank you all so much again for tuning in. Until next time.